Hi, my name's Erin Manning. I'm a professional photographer, TV host, and author, and I'm here to share some tips and techniques with you on how to have more fun with your photography using the Canon EOS Rebel XSi. What do we mean by having fun with photography? Well, it is a lot of fun to take great photos, and it's a lot of fun to share those photos with your family and friends. The Canon EOS Rebel XSi was designed to enhance your experience with photography, not only in camera performance, but also in delivering high-quality results. Now, this helps you transition from taking just a basic snapshot to creating a beautiful image, and you'll see the difference right away. The first step to enjoying photography is a comfortable camera. And the Canon EOS Rebel XSi is perfect for that because of its easy-to-hold grip, it's light, compact, and the control layout is really convenient, so it's easy to take pictures. The EOS Rebel XSi makes it easy to transition from a compact camera to a digital SLR because it has a lot of the same features as a compact camera. For instance, it uses the same size memory card. It has a 3-inch LCD monitor on the back with live view just like a compact camera, and it uses the same wide array of shooting modes. Some of the advantages of stepping up to a DSLR include faster startup time, faster AF speed, faster continuous shooting with less shutter lag, and the ability to track moving subjects. The single frame mode is great for stationary subjects, but continuous shooting mode is fantastic for sports or action, but even for portraits, because people move around a little bit, or maybe you want to capture all those expressions. The EOS Rebel XSi has 9 autofocus points. So why is it important to have that many autofocus points? Well, it's great for focusing on moving subjects, and it's good for better composition. The XSi standard zoom lens has a built-in image stabilizer that corrects camera shake up to 4 full shutter speed steps for sharper photos. You can see the stabilization effect through the viewfinder while you shoot, unlike other cameras with in-body stabilization. The XSi's auto lighting optimizer is yet another new feature that works behind the scenes to improve image quality automatically. It corrects for flat lighting to add more snap to your photos. It's automatically on in the full auto and basic shooting modes and can be turned off or on in the creative shooting modes. These high-quality components designed, developed, and manufactured by Canon work together to provide vibrant, pleasing color and exceptionally fine detail. Along with Canon Lenses, Canon CMOS and Digic 3 are the heart and soul of the Rebel XSi. They're the pieces that make a Canon camera unique. The 3-inch LCD, the live view with autofocus, the self-cleaning sensor unit, picture styles, custom functions, the print share button, all these contribute to the total satisfaction of using the EOS Rebel XSi. And you're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, you've taken the camera out of the box and you're really excited to use it, but there are a few things you need to do first. First, you want to make sure the battery is charged, but that only takes about 2 hours. It's pretty quick. Once the battery's charged, you can then pop it into the camera, and you do that by turning over the camera, opening up the little cover on the bottom, and then just pop in the battery. You may need to move that little tab over just a little bit until the battery clicks in, just like that, and then close the cover. Now that the battery's in, don't turn on the camera yet. There are a few more things we have to do. We're going to mount the lens, and to do that, you remove the rear lens cap. Take that off, and then remove the camera body cap. Take that off. Now you're ready to mount the lens, and you do that by aligning the little index point on the lens and on the camera together. Do that and give a quick little twist until it pops in, just like that. And go ahead and remove the lens cap cover too. And now we're going to insert the memory card. This is where all your images are stored. Okay? So you do that by opening up the little compartment cover here on the right side of the camera. It has some little dots on it, so it's easy to pull towards you. Just pop that open, and then you want to insert the memory card. If you're unsure which way it goes in, there's actually a little picture here on the door which tells you which way to put it in. And there's also a little arrow here on the memory card. So pop that in and close the cover. And one more thing. Oh yes, did you know that you can actually adjust your viewfinder to fit your eyesight? There's a little diopter ring that's on the side of the viewfinder here to the right side. Go ahead and hold it up to your eye and keep turning that little dioptric viewfinder until the focusing points become sharp and clear. Now you're ready to go. Let me take you on a tour and show you what all the buttons, dials, and switches do. The main switch turns the camera on and off. The mode dial sets the exposure mode. The main input dial adjusts the various settings according to the mode. The shutter button takes the picture. The ISO button. You press and release this before adjusting the ISO with the main input dial. The cross keys. These give you quick access to picture styles, autofocus modes, metering, adjustments, and frame rates. The set button. To register settings, start the live view, and many other things. The playback button, to play back recorded images. The delete button, to erase images. The exposure compensation button, this adjusts the brightness in the auto exposure modes or aperture in the manual mode. The print share button, this is for one-touch direct printing and downloading. The menu button, this displays the menu on the LCD. The display button. This changes the content of the display. The AE lock button. This locks the exposure and emits a pre-flash. The focusing point selector button. This prepares the camera for selecting a focus point. Here are a few features you should know about before you start using your camera. Single frame mode, continuous mode, the self-timer modes, and the custom self-timer mode. The single frame mode is great for portraits and stationary subjects. The continuous mode is best for moving subjects. And the self-timer mode is useful for tripod shots and self-portraits or group shots. And a new feature, the custom self-timer mode lets you take up to 10 shots after a 10-second delay. AF modes. One-shot AF, AI Servo AF, and AI Focus AF. One-shot AF is for stationary subjects. AI Servo AF is for moving subjects. By the way, AI stands for Artificial Intelligence. AI Focus AF allows the camera to select the optimum autofocus mode automatically. AF point selection modes. You can select individual focus points manually or let the camera select the focus points automatically. Exposure metering. Exposure metering patterns are evaluative, center-weighted average, partial, and spot. Evaluative metering analyzes the subject and its surroundings to determine the best exposure. Center-weighted average metering emphasizes the middle of the picture area regardless of the subject position. Partial metering measures the light in the center of the picture area but ignores the background completely. This is useful for backlit subjects. Spot metering is like partial metering but covers a smaller area in the center of the picture as shown by the circle on the focusing screen. ISO speed settings. The ISO determines your camera's sensitivity to the light. You can adjust your ISO manually or let the camera adjust it automatically. Generally, you use a higher ISO setting in low light and a lower ISO setting in bright light. Exposure modes. Program, shutter priority, aperture priority, and manual. Program mode is a more sophisticated version of automatic. It lets the camera set the shutter speed and aperture automatically. Shutter priority mode lets you pick the shutter speed and the camera controls the aperture. Aperture priority mode lets you pick the aperture and the camera controls the shutter. Manual mode lets you choose your own shutter speed and aperture for maximum creative control. ADEP, which means auto depth of field mode, analyzes the objects on different planes in your scene and determines the proper exposure and focus for the shot. Full auto mode. This is where the camera does everything automatically. You just press the shutter button. Basic zone modes. These optimize the camera according to many popular picture-taking situations such as portraits, landscapes, close-ups, action photography, night portraits, and available light. Picture style settings. These settings adjust the contrast, sharpness, saturation, and color tone to achieve a variety of photo effects. The preset picture styles include standard, portrait, landscape, neutral, faithful, and monochrome, and there are 3 custom settings that allow you to set up your own picture styles. Color space, sRGB and Adobe RGB. sRGB is recommended for beginners. Adobe RGB is recommended for more advanced photographers who plan on printing their own photos. White balance. White balance adjusts the overall color of the image according to the type of light in your scene. Auto white balance is good for most situations, but there are presets for specific conditions such as daylight, shade, cloudy, tungsten light, fluorescent light, flash, and a custom white balance for maximum creative control. File recording. JPEG and RAW file types. JPEG settings are best for beginners. The RAW file type gives you more options and creative possibilities, but it will need to be processed later using special software which is included with your camera at no extra charge.